I'd like to welcome to stage Fred Burns. The Squaredance King.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you for this opportunity and Toastmasters. 1962. I was 11. I was in the 6th grade, and I waited and waited and waited to hear my teacher say these words. People, I would like you to all stand up next to your desk. Stand up next to your desk, move your desk to the side of the room so we can create an open area. We must have a safe open area because today we are going to square dance. Yes, square dancing was the only thing I was good at when I was 11. I wasn't any good at baseball. I was not that good in school. It was hard for me to get past the first round of a spelling bee. You know, apparently, the word knife has a K in it. So I didn't have a lot going for me. But I was the Baryshnikov of square dancing. And the great part about being a good dancer is all the girls want to dance with you. I had 3 groupies, Cindy, Sandy, and Margarita. And they would follow me around at recess. And they would always say, "Hi, Greg. Hi, Greg. You know who you're going to dance with? Today it's square dance time. Have you decided who you're going to choose, possibly who you're thinking of dancing with?" And I'd say, "Look, I'm a busy man. I have a lot to think about. I'll try to get around to everyone, okay?" And so it was. We would dance every Friday afternoon, square dancing. It was great. And the thing about square dancing, it's actually pretty easy because the color tells you what to do. It's like, swing your partner, don't be slow. Now we're gonna do-si-do. Move your honey up and back. Now we're gonna Cadillac. So it goes on like that forever. So you always know what to do. So that works out. But then our teacher came forward and she said, "I have a very big announcement, really big announcement. Our class has been chosen to demonstrate the magic of square dancing for PTA night next week in front of the cafeteria. And I have chosen 4 boys and 4 girls to dance that night. I want you all to wear a kerchief and to wear a Western outfit." Wow. Dancing at night under the stars. But where am I going to find a Western outfit? Well, my mom took me to the Western wear store. It was called the Wagon Wheel. It was a great store. Everything smelled like leather and denim. And it was the only place you could buy a belt buckle that was as big as a hubcap. Gigantic silver belt buckles. You had to be careful when you bent over. But those were pretty cool. And I got my kerchief, and I was on my way out the store when something caught my eye. In the corner of the store, there was a mannequin. And on that mannequin was the most incredible Western shirt I'd ever seen in my entire life. It was a black shirt. Beautiful. And it had white detail. It had white pearl snap buttons. And it had pointy pockets. But most of all, it had white fringe. White fringe down the arms and on the chest and in the back. White fringe. Can you see the white fringe? It's beautiful, isn't it? White fringe. And all this time I was staring at the shirt, and there was a man behind the counter. shirt, and you know, it takes a certain kind of person to wear fringe. To wear fringe, you gotta have swagger. And without looking at him, I said, I have swagger. And I would like to try on this shirt. I wear a boy's regular. And I'll see if I got it in the back. The way he went. And I put on that shirt, I put it on, and I got in front of the full-length mirror. And let me tell you, I did not see a baseball player. I did not see a spelling bee loser. I saw a Squaredance King. Magnificent. Cowboys used to tell which way the wind was blowing by lifting their fringe to the wind. So I bought that shirt, and then I wore that shirt the next week. And I wore that shirt with a lot of cologne. Because I'll just say it, I know this about women. Women like lots and lots of cologne.
Oh, no.
And I wore lots and lots of cologne. Old Spice, which, by the way, not too many people know this. Old Spice is actually made from old spices. And I got to dance with Debbie, who was the most beautiful girl in the school. It was so cool. And we proceeded to dance the night away in slow motion rivers of stardust. So wonderful. And at the end of that night, I remember giving her my kerchief. And I said, Debbie, I want you to have this. And if you ever need to dry your tears or blow your nose, I want you to have this and think about this night in 1962. 1962. Well, it came and went. And I forgot about my life. And I forgot about square dancing. 1962, it just faded away. Until I went and saw the movie Woodstock in 1969. And when I saw Woodstock, I noticed something. I noticed that Sly Stone and Roger Daltrey of the Who and Jimi Hendrix all wore fringe. But I beat them to it. Sure, yeah, yeah, this is basically a story, and you know, the thing I was thinking about, the difficulty I have with telling a story, or even a speech, is that you want to have momentum, and the temptation is to get caught up in detail. And for me, when I was writing the speech, there was so much detail, and I left a lot of it on the cutting room floor, so to speak. But I still, you know, I always feel when I'm telling a story to somebody, I want to keep moving. I want to keep it moving so there's momentum. So that was the hard part, I guess. And also, you know, my influences are like Garrison Keillor and David Sedaris and Maria Bamford. And I wanted to convey character, because the story had very definite characters in it. The teacher, and my groupies, and definitely the guy in the store who was always smoking. And I can picture that store like it was yesterday. So I loved doing character. Maria Bamford is amazing with character, and so is Jonathan Winters. I used to watch him all the time. And there's something about hearing, showing the person the character as opposed to telling them about it. So I love to show them the person. And what I do when I create a speech is I record it. and I lip sync my own speech. So, and I turn it on, and so I'll work on, you know, create an open area. There's 4 boys and 4 girls, and just gestures so that it's visual. When I did the weatherman speech, that was an extremely visual speech where I was showing hand motions and demonstrating, you know, things. And one thing I learned from Craig Valentine, I got to meet him, is that he said people remember what they see almost more than what they hear. And so I always try to be visual. I'm a visual person anyway. So that's what I did. But it was fun putting it together, and it was fun to go back to 1962. That was a special time for me. For some reason, my childhood was in Technicolor. My adult life is in black and white. But my childhood is vivid, so that's what I did.
Excellent. Yes. Go ahead.
So when you change characters, when you move from the teacher or the store clerk or your mother or whatever, is it the visual that gives you, because I didn't hear a change in your voice so much as I saw the difference. Like your head cocked a little when it was the store proprietor.
Yeah, again, you know, the physicality, I love that part of the character. Is that your question? I mean, the physicality of the voice. You know, the voice is weird because sometimes it's very subtle. And I actually do speeches where I'm subtle. Not this speech. This was not subtle at all. You know, the guy spoken and stuff. But the physicality, whenever I do a character, that kind of drives the character. So when I cross my arms, you know, I've got that. Or when I'm the teacher. I mean, I remember my teachers being very, what's the word? Having a lot of mannerisms and commanding, you know, being very commanding. And I thought that she should be sort of diagonal, you know, kind of be always looking and, you know, have her gestures moving around and stuff. So it's kind of over the top. I remember teachers being that way. And I remember girls as being, hi, you know, how are you doing? Something, you know, with the shoulders. So I rehearse a lot when I do the characters over and over again, just to, so before I realize it, it takes me a while to get there.
Any other questions for Brett? Yes.
You said you recorded. Do you videotape it, or do you just record the sound?
Just audio recorded. And then I play that, and I lip sync myself giving it back.
Or somebody else? Yes, go ahead.
Just observation. I love going and listening to great speakers talk and share about how they came to where they are today. And you're the first person I've heard really talk about gestures. So I love that you've added that and get into more character, because it's something I hadn't really thought about. So thank you for that.
Yeah, again, that was, I got a lot of that from Craig Valentine. You know, when I listen to him, he has speaker tips online and all this, and I listen to him a lot. And he's very, I think of him as being very visual in the way he sets things up.
Do you do this in front of a mirror when you practice your gestures?
Do it in front of a mirror. I suppose I do. I think I did,
Yeah.
you know, because I wanted, you know, there's a weird part in that speech where I go, yes, you know, and I wanted to, you know, actually look at people and say, do you see the fringe? Touch the fringe.
That was great.
I wanted, you know, I wanted to really share that, you know, that techno moment, and, you know, because it was a beautiful shirt. I don't have it anymore, sadly. It's gone. And I love what Jamar said. I have to say this real quick about taking the pressure off yourself and just pushing it forward.
Yeah, that's very